Sometimes, the right person comes when you least expect it. Adrian Carpenter walked down the flight of stairs. His eyes were glancing repeatedly at his wristwatch. He was darn late to work. He needed to be in the office before the commencement of the stakeholders' meeting. But being reminded of his only daughter, he muttered a silent curse to himself. His eyes met a pretty, red-haired lady sitting in the armchair. "And who are you?" he was forced to ask. "I'm here for the interview." The lady stood up quickly, smoldering the edges of her dress as she smiled up at him. "What interview?" Adrian was momentarily stunned. Brian the butler hadn't mentioned any of the sort. He must have forgotten about the said interview which was to take place. The young lady turned obviously to the shut door, expecting the face of the butler to butt in. Next, she wrenched her face towards Adrian, her smile never faltering. "I'm here applying for the nanny's position," she replied him. Adrian's brows arched in surprise. Glancing back at his wristwatch, he knew that he needed to be at work. The meeting wouldn't start without him in it. "You seem quite young," he noticed, recalling how Maya's previous nannies had been much older. Most had instantly trudged off due to Maya's terrible antics. "I am truly experienced. I worked at Kids on Board while in Atlanta before relocating down home." Something in her composure assured Adrian that she would be good with Maya. Yet he wasn't fully assured of that notion. "You can start at once. My daughter's name is Maya. She's up in her room. You can get acquainted with her." The words stumbled out from his mouth as he shot a glance up the stairs, nodded to her, then he rushed out. Maya had always been a child of questionable character. Time and again, she had pushed her previous nannies against the wall, forcing them to quit their jobs. Adrian was frustrated, strained, and was losing his wits at the prospect of getting a new nanny. There were things to be done at the company, and he couldn't betide himself with Maya's shenanigans. Even while the meeting wore on, he was expectant of a call or two from Brian, the butler who would yet again reveal to him how notorious Maya had been with the new escaped nanny. But no calls came through. He was bothered still as hours continued to pass by. He grabbed his car keys and left his office. Leila had never been a nanny, not even a babysitter, but she loved the sight of children around her, and she was hoping that in the future she would have a family of her own. She had only returned home because of her mom who wanted her for the holidays. She found herself being forced to apply at the famous Adrian's home to avoid being idle. Renowned billionaire Adrian needed a nanny for his only daughter. It would be a momentary job, and she believed she would be able to care for Adrian's child, disbelieving all the rumors that she had heard about the young girl. "Maya!" Leila called out, knocking on Maya's door. With no response from within, Leila decided to go in, undoing the door with a gentle push. Meeting Maya was a disaster. It was obvious that Leila wasn't entirely welcome in the house. When she stepped into Maya's room, it was flooded with water. "Maya!" Leila called again, withholding a curse word as she pulled half of her dress up. Maya was dressed in a bathing trunk, sitting on the toilet sink while her legs dangled towards the water. And she had all the taps turned on. "My father just hired you without giving you the basics." Her eyes held so much contempt. Leila tried a smile, letting her yellow dress fall. "Your father is a busy man, but I can assure you that you can trust me. I am your new nanny." "Oh, can I?" Maya smirked. She was light-skinned. She reached for an object, which turned out to be the hair dryer. Leila stared wide-eyed, swallowed, then yelled out as Maya tried to dip the object into the running water towards the ground. Leila's feet took flight, while Maya's laughter echoed behind a sealed door. "Are you all right?" Slightly propped on her knees, Leila straightened up at once. "Yes, I'm all right," the lady replied, looking up to meet the face of the butler. Leila assumed it would be too soon to lose her job. She shouldn't give up yet. We're just playing a little game. Leila scoffed. Brian nodded. Then he turned down the flight of stairs. Leila decided to try again. She pushed the door open, smiled, and walked back towards Maya. Now, let me reintroduce myself to you. My name is Leila Carlson. I am your nanny, she said, ignoring the look of shock on Maya's face. You don't think I can do it? Maya asked with a subtle threat. I believe you can do it. I know you can do it. But if you do intend to do it, just know you'll have yourself to blame. You'll be put behind bars and you'll never see your beautiful home again, Leila said to her. Maya's mouth fell open, probably out of shock. After a while, she laughed to herself, then switched off the appliance. I can never go to jail. I'm 13 years old, Maya said with a straight face. There are jails for children. Want me to show you? Leila proffered, arching her brows for emphasis. It must have sounded ridiculous to Leila's ears because she doubted she had ever heard of such either. But she must look the explicit part of a strict nanny. Want me to show you? Leila repeated, stretching out a hand towards her. Maya's face wobbled like mashed potatoes. Stricken with shock, she hugged herself. If you wouldn't want a jail for yourself, we can forget whatever happened here and start all over. I promise I won't tell, Leila said. But in exchange for that, we would both clean up your room? Maya was surprised. She didn't like the idea of the nanny threatening about telling on her. Not like it did matter. But she didn't like the idea of her dad boxing her in a heated conversation. Did you know, I was once like you, Leila started with a smile, returning from the bathroom while tying the edges of her gown to her thigh. Maya watched her intently, bemused by Leila's attitude. She was telling a story instead of being pissed like other nannies usually would be. Leila threw her a mop. When I scooped the water up thoroughly, you mop, understood? She asked. Maya had no choice but to nod to that. Leila was obviously a solider, or one who had such training. She had shown no fear about being electrocuted, and Leila had obviously seen through her that the act had been an empty threat. So, where was I in my story? My mother usually cooks beans, and since my siblings and I don't like beans, we would end up putting many stones in it. Mother would throw the beans away, and we wouldn't eat the beans after all. Leila laughed, turning to look at Maya. Maya seemed taken by the story. She found herself wanting to know more. That sounds like something I can do, she found herself saying. Now, you've met your look-alike. But did you know what my mother did? The next time we did such a grievous offense, we were forced to eat the beans until there was nothing left in the pot. Maya found herself laughing to the tale. Why was Leila hilarious as well as receptive to her? Other nannies would have complained bitterly about her obstructive attitude, but Leila wasn't. Yet Leila was stern in a way. The two went about cleaning until Maya was far spent. Hey, we aren't done yet. Leila stopped her from falling into her bed. Maya's eyes bulged. What was left to do again? Her bones were whacked out already. You will help me with dinner. Then will I be certain that you'll be at your best, Leila put in. Dinner? But we have a cook for that. Maya was certainly distraught. The cook will take a break then. I don't know how to cook, Maya continued. Leila smirked to that. You will learn. Chaos displayed continually in the depths of Adrian's mind. But when he arrived home, Maya was neatly dressed in a pink gown, setting the table while the new nanny served dinner. You're quite early, Leila looked up at Adrian. He was bemused. To him, Maya seemed so different. Although she didn't render a smile his way, he felt pleased to see her outside her room, and she wasn't throwing tantrums. Maya didn't say a word to him either. She kept on talking to the nanny as if her father was an insignificant figure. He hadn't even changed. Maya rolled her eyes while flipping her hair. "It doesn't matter. It's a good thing he came right on time," Leila spoke up. Adrian cleared his throat, trying not to choke on Maya's obvious hate. "You cooked all this? Is the cook on leave?" He turned to ask Leila. "He doesn't even know the cook's name," Maya murmured. "Maya!" Leila called out in a subtle tone. "What? It is true. He doesn't even know your name," Maya continued. Adrian looked towards Maya, feeling stark naked. She was right. Her father barely knew workers who worked for him by their names except the butler. He was exhausted. He wouldn't want to have a go with Maya, right? Seeing her leave her room was enough ecstasy for him. "You can enjoy your dinner. I'm glad you're out of your closet," Adrian said to Maya, then nodded to the nanny. "You can still join us, sir. There's enough food for all," Leila persisted. "I'll be fine. I'll be up in my room." He nodded to Leila and started up the stairs. Even as he bathed, he heard the two argue for a while. Afterwards, they were laughing over something funny. How they had gotten so close in barely one day amused him. But she was a good influence on Maya, and he definitely would want to keep her. Maya had never liked any of the previous nannies, he wondered. Then he stepped out of his room afterwards, catching more glimpses of both of them talking excitedly while in Maya's room. How had she been able to tame Maya? What magic did she have? He thought to himself. Leila had no idea that Adrian had been watching them from the door. By the time she turned to leave Maya's room, she jammed into his silhouette. His firm hands grabbed her waist while her breath hitched. "I'm sorry," he said, his face mere inches away from Leila's while her heart began to race frantically. She caught sight of his hands. They were firm and wheel-muscled. She was inclined to reach out and encircle her hands around his hands. She scoffed, suddenly nervous before him. "I didn't see you there." She shut Maya's door behind her. She stepped aside, watching as dim lights danced on his face. He was darn handsome in his top and slacks, clean and well-shaved. He also smelled like wildflowers. She didn't understand why her body was stung with excitement. She detected that Adrian was probably in his early 40s. Why would she be having such nasty, slimy thoughts about her employer? Silence stretched on between them. "How? Have?" They both synchronized, asking, "You go first." He brushed a hand across his wavy dark hair. "Have you had dinner?" she asked him. He stared wide-eyed at her, then tried a wry smile. He was taken aback by her question. "I have eaten dinner already," he answered her. But she couldn't detect if that was a lie. He had seemed interested in joining them earlier on, before he was being pushed away by his daughter. "I know it's not my place, and I only got this job today. But why does she hold you in so much contempt? I mean, you are her father?" The question nudged out of Leila's mouth. She intently knew that it was never her place to delve into the family problems of her employer. She could lose her job if she decided to pry, but her bond with Maya was beginning to make her move beyond her pace. Maybe she was too darn curious. "What's your name, miss?" he asked Leila. "I'm Miss Leila Carlson," she replied. "Maybe you should stick to caring for Maya. Other matters don't concern you." It felt like a slap across her face. Was this why Maya doesn't like him? He only needed her name after she'd said something that didn't utterly concern her. "I'm sorry for intruding, sir. I'll be leaving now. I'll return early at dawn," she told him. He didn't reply her, and she started the walk downstairs. It then occurred to her that they hadn't even discussed the amount of money meant to be paid for her job. They would discuss that the very next day, she told herself. She hadn't even crossed the gate when Brian, his butler, raced towards her. "Maya is asking for you," Brian rasped. Maya wouldn't let Leila go. She had been shedding tears, racing down the stairs while asking for Leila. What had been the cause of her tears? She hated the dark, which her father would punish her with whenever she was at her worst. Leila had to embrace her in her arms while they slept together through the night. And while they were slowly becoming more knitted, Leila caught glimpses of Adrian watching her. Adrian would return most days, lingering around where Maya and Leila sat just to watch them. His dark eyes made Leila's stomach rumble, and when he passed by her, she caught a whiff of his cologne tantalizing her nose. What was wrong with her? She barely knew this man who had been so uptight about her, yet he watched her still. The other day, he was begging her not to leave, while he had Brian get her expensive wares to last her stay. Was he afraid that she would leave her job? "You're just so good with her that I envy the relationship you share with my daughter." A voice spoke up behind her. She jerked, turned around, and almost bumped into his body. Why was he always surprising her by boxing her into a corner? This time, she was in her room. "I'm sorry. I had to let myself in as the door was left ajar," he apologized. The butterflies in her stomach started their magic again, swelling within her. "It's fine," she waved her hands. She had been arranging the clothes which he bought her, stacking them in the chest drawers. "You don't have to feel jealous of me. I mean, she's your daughter. You can make it work," she stated. He walked in, observing her room before turning back to face her. This time, he was dressed in a white shirt and pants. "Maya doesn't even see it fit to have a conversation with me," he plunged on. She didn't want to prolong the conversation. That would probably cause mayhem, she reasoned. But his lingering gaze never left her body. "I got you a dress," he put in. "I've received enough, and I can't thank you enough," she told him. "No, this one is different. I would love to see how you look in it." He reached towards her and took her hands into his. Her heart started to thud again. Her eyes automatically met his lips. They were full and inviting. She shifted her gaze quickly. "You've gotten me enough," she repeated, trying to suppress her surprise. He intertwined his fingers into hers, studying the way their skin brushed and burned. "I want to share a dinner with you alone. I watch how you captivate me with your knitted relationship with Maya. Would it be forward of me to ask this of you?" His eyes met her eyes. Her breath hitched. She was lost of breath. The way he stared at her like she was his prized possession. She was supposed to be home with her mother, but because of her flimsy crush on this breathtaking man, she'd flung herself to be a nanny. "I would want to take you out on a date," he put in. "Would it be too much to ask?" He tilted her face as he stepped closer. She was suddenly aching for his lips on hers, as she was visibly consumed by his presence enclosing her. Her tummy drummed and rolled again against her very own wish. Wasn't he asking too much of her? She was only Maya's nanny. He leaned in for a kiss, ignoring the look of disbelief patched across her face. The fact that she didn't voice out an objection, he plunged in tasting her lips. His lips brushed against hers softly, parting it to introduce his tongue to her mouth. His hands probed her closer, and she felt her breasts mashed hard on his chest. She was lost in his arms when she heard the voice in the background. Was mother not enough? Was mother not enough? That question shook the daylights out of them. Leila and Adrian separated like two criminals caught in crime. What was Maya talking about? Leila thought. Her face held so much disdain. Was she disappointed in Leila? "What do you mean, Maya?" Adrian asked. "You want to take her away from me. First, you had my mom pushed off into another country. Next, mom tried to come home to beg you to let her stay. but you were rigid still. She died because of you. If you hadn't let her go, she wouldn't have died in that accident." A tear fell from her eyes. Leila shot a glance at Adrian, then plunged forward towards Maya. More tears raced down Maya's cheeks. "Can't you see why I don't like him? He takes everything from me. He will take you away from me, then push you away." Maya looked towards Leila, who was stooping to her eye level. "Maya, is that what your mother told you?" Adrian asked. His voice had gone cold and coarse. "You never cared about Mother, nor do you care about me. How then will you care for Miss Leila? You want her out of our lives." Maya wailed. "Will you be quiet?" Her father had a fist clenched tightly. Her words had certainly eaten into his soul. Even in her death, Maya's mother, Reina's words had worked like magic on their child. Reina and her manipulations. Unable to bear it anymore, Maya raced off, her feet receding as she ran down the stairs. Leila stood up, turned to face Adrian, then ran after her. At this point, Adrian felt it was high time he opens up, because he believed he had concealed so much from Maya. Would she even hear him out? He thought. Maya had cried herself to sleep while she was in Leila's arms before she finally found herself going back to Adrian. He was sitting behind his desk in his study, drinking brandy. "Are you all right?" Leila asked. "I have been looking all over for you." Regret gripped Leila as Adrian didn't give her a reply. She shouldn't have come to him. That had only made him think her a nuisance for prying into his life. "Maya's mother had me divorced the second she perceived that I was on the brink of bankruptcy 2 years ago. Even before she divorced me, she had never loved the aspect of being a mother," he started. Leila turned as he stood up from his chair. Then he joined her by the desk. He motioned to Leila to sit beside him as he offered her a glass of brandy, which she declined. "I'd loved her despite her flaws. I had the belief that she would change, and I kept on hanging on to that. She returned home to invite me to her wedding to my rival, Bassam." Adrian laughed to himself, turning to look at Leila. She had an accident which claimed her life when she was returning to her new husband. But before that, I was unaware that she had filled up Maya's head with lies. What can I do about that? I can't believe Maya hates me because of my mistake of not finding her a good mother. Adrian took another sip. Leila took the cup of brandy from him and placed the bottle of drink farther away. "You need to stop drinking, Adrian," she said to him. She only just realized that she'd called him by his first name. "Is it okay if I call you Adrian?" Leila asked him. "Nope, I don't mind at all," he scoffed, standing before her while he placed his hands on either side of her. What was he doing? She asked herself. Wasn't he drunk? Her heart began to jump excitedly, and she couldn't breathe. "Sometimes I wonder how you do it with Maya. After her mother died, she refused to open up to me, talk to me, or even come out of her room whenever I was around. I don't even know how to handle her. Then you snoop in and every other thing is like magic," he explained, his eyes dancing. She was trouble at first, but soft underneath. She tried to play along, hoping he would step away from her. But he pressed his body against hers, leaning in while he planted light kisses on her face. "I love the way you smell," he said. Hadn't he heard what she was saying about his daughter? Oh God, the way he made her feel. She was dizzy from his game and wobbled to jelly at his feathery touches. His hand reached towards her back, forcing her abruptly to arch into him. "It's been ages since I ever felt this way for a woman," he emphasized. Leila gasped while his hands grazed her arms. "Adrian, are you drunk?" she muttered. Their lips were slightly apart as he chuckled softly. "You think I'm drunk? I am fully aware of what I'm doing, and I want to do a lot of things to you. He placed several wet kisses on her neck. She threw her head backward as each kiss burned. She was losing it. He hitched her gown to her thighs, bearing himself between her legs. Adrian, she called amidst kisses, each break leaving her breathless. Tell me you don't want me, and I'll stop. Each break of the kiss had his eyes staring into her very soul. She was breathless, and her reaction to Adrian's kisses spurred him on. He pushed back the strands of hair obscuring her sight, waiting for a form of protest from her. I've always admired you, Adrian. Your dedication to your work and hard work, she said out of breath. Work? Why was she bringing in work suddenly? He thought. Did you know I had applied for a job at your company 3 years back after I was done with college? She intoned. Adrian could sense her hesitation. She must be nervous and wrecked, he presumed. Really? I didn't know that. I don't think I recall seeing your face. A red-haired conducted the interview. I didn't think you were aware either, Leila put in. Adrian's brows twitched tightly, memories slowly washing over him. I think I remember now. The red hair was my ex-wife. She always wanted to mark her territory, Adrian scoffed. She leaned in, hugging Adrian's head to her face before kissing him. Promise me, you'll make up with Maya. Tell her the truth, believe me. She's not as hard as you claim she is. He was mesmerized by her soft tone, soft body, and sweet kisses. He simply wanted more from her. He leaned in to kiss her again, but she placed a manicured finger on his lips. Promise me, she said. He couldn't stand her daunting gaze, and he was dying to taste the sweet nectar on her lips again. He sighed, giving up. Leila, I promise, Adrian said. She dropped her hand, allowing the invite of her luscious lips. The next morning, Maya Carpenter was taken aback to find both Leila and her dad in her room. She pulled up the blanket up to her chest, looking to Leila for help. It's okay, honey. Your dad is only here to talk to you, Leila assured her by squeezing her hand. Honey, I am sorry for making you feel like I hate you. Leila here explained to me how hard it has been for you after your mom had left. I'm only here to explain to you how it had all happened. Adrian moved close to his daughter. Slowly, he went over how Reina, his ex-wife, had decided to leave, then got entangled with another man before she got into a fatal accident. Maya was attentive, never disrupting as tears blurred her eyes. I am sorry, Maya. Adrian pulled his daughter close. Why didn't you tell me, Dad? She asked him, hugging him tight. I didn't want you to hate her. Your mother loves you, Maya. She wanted you to have a good dad, Adrian said, hugging her intimately. You're lying, Dad. You only want me to feel good, she pointed out. I'm sorry too, Dad. When I said you wanted to take Miss Leila away, I was afraid that she would be gone when she learns about Mom. Maya apologized. Adrian looked towards Leila, pulling her close. Leila will never hate you. In fact, she's here to stay. Leila joined in the embrace, brushing a tear from her eyes. I'm here to stay, Leila. I can never hate you, she said. Maya broke the embrace, taking Leila's hands. Please stay. Let's play games like we usually do. I know that my dad likes you so much, and I'm not angry. I really want you to stay. Leila sniffed, looking back at Adrian. You wouldn't mind at all, Maya? She asked. I wouldn't even mind if you be my new mom. I love being around you. Maya embraced her. Oh, Maya, I would love it. And as Adrian came close, he planted a kiss on Maya's forehead before hugging them all to himself. Leila was his blessing, and she had healed his family with her magic touch.